Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Dross here with another video, and for this one guys, we're gonna be trying to do some 3D Pokemon cards. Not sure if that's what they're called, it's just I've seen people doing it online. I didn't look into it and I just kind of jumped into it and did my own, as you guys can see right here. So maybe just by showing you guys will know what I'm talking about. So for example, yeah, there's different layers that you add and you basically make it 3D, and this is my first go at it guys, like without looking into it, without getting tips or tricks online, because I'm sure there's videos out there or tutorials that show you how to do it, but I just wanted to just jump into it and see what I learned, because I feel like learning is also part of the process and it's fun as well. So this time, just what I learned from this, I'm gonna apply it to the one that we're gonna be working on today, and hopefully it all works out. So if you guys want to do this as well, all that you guys need are gonna be bulk Pokemon cards. So if you got any of those laying around, and if you got at least 5 of the Pokemon card that you want to do, then it's gonna be easy, because you could also use another thing that you can use for the layers instead of using the same Pokemon card, is adding these right here. So I think the green one's not gonna show because I got the green screen running behind me, but you guys will be able to see it here, right? These are good like fillers, so like in between the layers, if you want to make it pop out a little bit more. Energy cards or just any Pokemon cards in general also work for that. So like I said before guys, I have no experience, don't learn from me. This is just me coming into it and just trying to learn as I go. So I'm pretty sure there's tutorial out there that you guys could probably follow that's way more helpful than this video, but if you guys just want to follow along and see what I come up with, then yeah, it's gonna be fun. So one of the items that you're gonna need is an X-Acto knife right here. So the one I use, so this is brand new guys, I haven't used this one just yet, and this is just X-Acto brand, as you guys see right here is the actual brand for it. I got this in Amazon for I think around $8, I can't remember exactly, so it's around $10 or under that. And I did have one already, but mine's more of a cheaper brand and it's a lot older. So I realized, I mean, it still worked, I think I could have still been better, but doing this Pokemon right here, I wasn't being careful, like I wasn't trying to make it perfect, like I wasn't paying attention to details. It was just me, let me put this together and let me see what comes out of it. So I feel like just with the other one that I had, I could probably done a decent job. So don't pay mind to the details in this. Like I said, this was just more practice than anything, and seeing to see what was gonna come out of it. And you guys can see right here, at least at the top, how rough it is. So I did notice that as I was doing it, so I decided just to buy an X-Acto knife because I enjoyed making these. They're actually pretty fun. Another thing that I noticed was that you can see the edges on the side of the Pokemon cards, and I used on one of the layers that I ended up removing just because I didn't like how it looked like. I used a Sharpie to color the edge just so it wouldn't be, it wouldn't stand out, and it just bled into the Pokemon card. So Sharpie was the worst thing I could have used. So for this one, I'm gonna use a Copic outliner. It's kind of like a brown, and I want to use this as, and I haven't even tried this, I might not even do that guys, but I might just kind of go on the edges. And the reason that I'm not using a black and I'm using a brown is just because it's not as bold as the black and it doesn't stand out. So actually the brown is actually pretty good, so I'll be doing that, and I'll just be doing that for each layer as I'm going. Yeah, we'll see if that works out as well. So I do have some Pokemon cards right here, so if you guys have bulk Pokemon cards, this is the perfect thing to do. A lot of people don't know what to do with their bulk Pokemon cards, some just throw them away, others like to donate them, and some people like to sell them, although it's kind of hard to sell since I think they sell maybe like maybe $40 for 1,000 Pokemon cards in bulk, so it's not really worth it unless you just want to get an extra $1 and save all those Pokemon cards and then just sell them that way, but another thing is this, you guys could do these 3D Pokemon cards, and all you need, I believe, is, at least with my experience, at least 5 5 Pokemon cards of the same type. So I ended up going into my bulk, just all my gone through bulk, and I ended up pulling just some of the ones that I, just a handful, and I found Larvitar right here. So this is one that I ended up finding. I actually have quite a few Larvitars, so just in case I do make a mistake on one of them, I do have an extra to redo it. And another one was Cubone, which is actually one of the ones that I'm excited about. And another one was Pikachu. Pikachu was just because I had, like I said, I just grabbed a handful, and Pikachu was one of the ones that stood out there. And the reason is because I was sorting them through by type, and that's why you see fighting and then Pikachu. So I guess I got in between these electric and fighting. But one of the hard things about Pikachu right here, just by looking at it, is that this is probably not a good Pokemon card to try to do this with. It's really gonna be really complicated doing the bubbles. There's just so many there, and they're transparent, so I don't think this is a good Pokemon to do. So I think we're gonna skip on Pikachu. So we have Larvitar and we have Cubone, and just by looking at both of these, I think Larvitar is a good one to do, just because he is standing out compared to the background, and then Cubone as well. And the reason that I'm leaning more towards Cubone is because of the dark background, like that really stands out. So I think we're gonna go ahead and do Cubone, and maybe another day we could do Larvitar. And at the same time, I don't think these are too complicated. They're actually simple. There's not a lot of like details we need to cut around, so I think this is gonna work out, guys. So I got 9 Cubone cards, so pretty good. So for the main card, the face card that I'm gonna be using, I want the one with the one that's most centered, and just by looking at them, or like eye appealing, right? And I think I'm just gonna save this one as a first card, just 'cause that's the one that you're gonna see. For example, like right here, this is the one you're gonna see the front. And for the back, I guess you guys could always just choose like the worst centering, and it seems like all of these Cubones are actually fairly the same, so I guess it's not gonna matter. Another thing would probably be the back, right, for the last one. And we're gonna save this one for last. All right, so now we got 2 layers right there. So we're just gonna go ahead and pick some other ones. And if you guys are wondering what I have in the back right here, this is just the plastic that I don't know if it's gonna work or not. And then I have my sketchbook just as a background. Usually you want to do this like on cardboard or something, or on a table that you don't care about scratching, because if you guys are gonna be using an X-Acto knife, you guys are gonna scratch your table or whatever surface that you're going to be using to place. So remember that, just keep that in mind. You guys can use like boxes or something like that you guys don't care about. For this, I'm just gonna use this plastic, and hopefully it works out, because it also depends how sharp the X-Acto knife is. It's how much force you're gonna have to apply. All right, guys, so now just by looking at it, let me set these cards to the side, and let's judge Cubone right here. So just by looking at it, I want to see or compare or judge it, the background and the foreground. So obviously we have Cubone, he's kind of standing, the background, you see the distance, you see also like the bubbles, or actually they're tears because he's crying, right? So we could actually do those as well. We could maybe this top right here tier, we could actually make it one of the most at the top, right, to make it stand out. Another thing would probably be the tail. If you guys look at the tail is actually further away than Cubone, since he's facing forward. So the tail, we could probably leave that in the last maybe 2-3 layers, and then just cut it off for the for the first 4 layers, or 2 layers, 3 layers, just so the tail could seem like it's further away. Another thing is the bone. We could actually leave the bone and the tail fairly around the same layer, right? And then we could cut those out and just have him in the foreground. And then we could also, another thing that I've noticed was the eye, guys. The eye, we could cut inside of the eye to make the skull stand out, and then just one of the bottom layers have the actual eye, so it seems like, you know, it goes in a little bit. So this is something that you guys are gonna want to pay attention as you're doing this, and it's something that I learned just by doing this right here. So I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to tell, but the tail is actually further away, and I started cutting into it. I think you're able to see it right here. So this is one layer that's cut right there, and then the next layer has a little bit more, and then the back has the actual tail. So it's something kind of hard to notice on the actual video, but in person you're able to see that. So let's use this as inspiration, and let's just go ahead and start cutting into it, guys. So here I have my X-Acto knife, like I mentioned before. I ended up getting this for around under $10 on Amazon. And I think just by looking at it, like I mentioned before, I want to leave the tail as, you know, a back piece, but I do want it to stand out from the background. So we're probably gonna cut the background out of this one, and we're just gonna focus on that, just cutting the background. So let me do that really quick and see what I could come up with. All right, so I did my first cut, and I actually like this X-Acto knife. So I don't know, you guys might be able to see the layer, and you guys can tell I didn't fully cut through it, so I might have to apply a little bit more pressure. All right, so I guess all I had to do was kind of just, you know, bend the card a little bit so it could come off, and it slowly started to just detach. I did have to go back in some of the areas and just press a little bit harder, but since, you know, I wasn't recording, I was able to get in there and do a better job. So it seems like for the most part I got it done. The only one that seems to not want to come off is right here at the top and down here at the bottom. Actually, it just came right off. All right, so now let's just see if we could take the top. I might have to redo the top right here, and it seems like I am. So it's just a matter of kind of applying a little bit more pressure or just going over it again. Since I did go the first time, you know, I cut through a lot of most of the thickness. All right, guys, I think I'm done. My camera ran out of battery, so I just went ahead and finished all the ones that I was gonna do. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the cards, 7 different layers that I'm using, or just Cubone in general, because like I said before, I was gonna do different layers, right? And I'm getting these mixed up together. So I also did a bunch of the in-betweens, and for these I just used a bunch of them. So I ended up running, so one thing that I noticed was that it was really hard to do the energies to get the square. So I basically just lined it up, and then with the X-Acto knife carefully just went around and you know, kind of did like a line, so I was able to then go back and cut it. So I started using the Pikachus just because the square or the rectangle's already there. So you could probably, instead of energies, use other Pokemon cards that you have. So I made a few just in case, you know, I don't know how many we're gonna use. So let me show you guys the way I did it. And we have the main one, which was the one that needed to be like more perfect, so I really had to be careful to do this one. We have this one where I cut off the eye socket and the nose, and then also left this tear right there in the foreground, and then on the back I ended up cutting the ear, part of the face, and one of the arms, the spikes, and the tail. There we go. This one I ended up leaving the side of the face right there, and then on the next one he's fully there. So this is basically like the middle part, or the middle last, right? So this one has everything, and then this is for the foreground. So this is something that I wasn't thinking of doing, but right here, guys, I realized that these were rocks, and I was like, you know what, we could probably add those and just make that 3D so it sticks out a little bit. So yeah, there we go, guys. So now it's just a matter of putting them together and gluing them and just going one by one. For that, I ended up buying these right here, so hopefully you guys are gonna be able to see them. These are little, I think I bought these at Amazon, and I think it was like $15 for 2,500 dots. And these are called, you see the glue right there in them. Basically you just stick them, and they're actually pretty good, guys. There's 2,500 for like $15, so you could get like 5,000 for $23. And it's just a bunch of dots, and I think these are called balloon glue or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And it is balloon glue. You guys can see the thing right here. And I got a bunch of them, and I really like them because they're actually good. Like they're decent, guys. I really like these. Yeah, so it's just a matter of just sticking them, and it's kind of hard because if you get them stuck to anything else, if you press on it, it sticks good where you have trouble peeling it off. So just because it is on this, you know, I don't know what kind of this plasticky thing, it doesn't stick to it. But yeah, so now it's just a matter of putting these together. So just because I don't want to run out of battery again, set these like this. This is the one in the back, right? So for sure I'm gonna want to add some of these, and it's kind of hard to do this because I feel like I almost just have to, they're really close together. So I'm just gonna there we go. I'm just gonna have to maybe put one. So I wanted to put one here in the corner, but I'm realizing that they're too wide, so I don't think I'll be able to cut them. I do have my my scissors right here, and let's see if we could actually cut these. So hopefully it doesn't stick. Okay, so it does stick. No, it does stick to it. Oh no. All right, so that was a fail. It didn't work out, but maybe I can still put it right here in the corner, and hopefully it stays. So another good thing about these, guys, is that it also adds you know, a little bit more space in between. So that's gonna help overall. And then I kind of want to add one on each side so they just stick, but like I said before, I don't know if it's gonna work out. I might be able just to put it and then just kind of like push it to the side and kind of fix it myself. There we go. And then these are going to be a little bit easier because these we could just put them in the middle of the card, right? So I'm going to put one in the corner over here just so it sticks nice and good. So there we go. And yeah, so these are cool because obviously they're really sticky, but it's kind of hard to really apply them. The way I did it before was that I just cut a bunch of little squares, so it was easier to put together. And there we go, just take it like that. Oh, there we go. I might add another one in the middle for like the little spacing that it adds. So like I mentioned before, that's the other cool part that it does. Oh no, I added one too many. Okay, I got that one back. And then something that I want to do is that I want to add one of these spacing cards, right? Just so we could add a little space. And this is a tricky part because you basically have to put them evenly. So I'm using my fingers as a guide to push it into place, and there we go. So now we're gonna stick this one, so we got one on the corner, and I could tell that it kind of oozed in this corner a little bit, so I might have to just kind of push on it and hopefully, you know, it goes back in there. Oh no, now it's sticking to the back on this one. Oh, this is so messy. So just in case these were not gonna work out, guys, I also bought Gorilla Glue. So it's something that I might use just like on the edges. And yeah, so now that we have this one there, we could probably add the next one, which is gonna be right here, this one right here for the background right there. And to be honest, I might want to add another of these spacers to that, so let me do that really quick. All right, got those done. Now to add the other one. And once again, oh no, I was gonna add a spacer. Good thing I realized, because I don't know how hard it would have been to try to peel it off. Once again, try to put it in there evenly. And now we have some more space in between. Right there, some more space in between. And now for the next one, we could add, so we got 2 on that one. So now for the third one, look at that, guys. We're gonna have that right there. The rocks is gonna really stand out. So let me go ahead and add the other ones, and let's see how it ends up looking like. I think I got it, guys. It took me a minute. I didn't use all the spacers. I was able to only use maybe a little bit over half of them. So I got 3 left over, and I'm excited to show you guys, because it came out a lot thicker than I thought it was gonna be, but at the same time it actually looks pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so let me show you guys, let me reveal it. Bam! I don't know if it's actually gonna show on camera, but let me show you guys down here. And look at this, look at it. I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see it properly in person. It's just, you can see it clearly, like you can see how nice it is. And yeah, I don't think the video is gonna do it justice, just because you are able to see 3D. And I don't know, guys, I just really like how it came out, and I can only imagine if I really like go into it and actually plan it out beforehand. But just bringing the background, you know, the rocks, making them stand out. Maybe if I would have added another spacer in between that, it would have just maybe looked a little bit better. But in person, you could tell the difference, so I don't think it needs it. But on video, I don't know how well you guys are gonna be able to see that, just the dimension in general. But look at this, how thick it is, guys. It's actually pretty thick. And if you guys can notice, the bottom and the top is not even, just because the top I had to roll them up. I had to roll them up and then stick them on there, so it's a little bit thicker. So maybe next time I could just cut them, you know, maybe with the X-Acto knife, hopefully cut them in the middle and just put them that way. That might be an easier way of doing it, and it could be a little bit more even. I wish there was like a sleeve where you could fit this in, so just it would keep it nice and tight. And yeah, it's not gonna fall off, guys. Like I could drop this, I could, you know, just do whatever and nothing's gonna happen to it. Like those little balloon glue actually really works really well, way better than I expected it to be honest. And overall, guys, I had a lot of fun. And look at this, I completely messed this up, and the back page is actually clean. So even though the top is pretty rough, the bottom is actually, like, obviously it's still ripped, like I cut through it, but it's not rough, so it's not bad. So this actually really came in handy. But like I said, be careful where you guys are gonna do it. And again, with the X-Acto knife, I don't want you guys hurting yourself, so just make sure that you guys are careful with them, just because obviously it's really sharp and I don't want you guys hurting yourself. But overall, guys, we got the first one that I did, and then we have the second one that I did, and I think they came out pretty good. I'm more happy with the second one. The second one pops out a little bit more, and I think also because of the background, right, the rocks on the side, and then also the tier, I think that had a lot to do with it overall. So pretty cool. The sand shrew, maybe I should have added a few more spacers, and then here for the bottom right here, I didn't know what to do. I was trying to add layers to make it seem, you know, like it's, you know, just make it seem like he's closer, and add some dimension, but that didn't work out. But overall, guys, I'm pretty happy with them. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and if you guys want to see another one, then let me know in the comment section as well. But that's gonna be it for me, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.